Hi friends, Twyla here. I am excited to be your teacher this morning, but first, why don't we stand up, shake our sillies out, and do a little praise and worship before we get started on our story. Okay guys, so we are going to talk today about obeying the leaders that God gave us. So that's our point for today. Our point is I can obey the leaders that God gave me. Super easy. And I was thinking about who the leaders are in our lives that God gave us. So the first one that I thought of was my parents. My parents were the first leaders of my life. They taught me a lot of things. They taught me how to walk. They taught me how to eat. They taught me how to be a good person, to be a good follower of Jesus. So obeying your parents is a really good way to obey the leaders that God gave us. Another leader I think that we have in our lives is our teachers. Our teachers are definitely our leaders. They are an authority that God gave us. I know some of you might not want to start thinking about back to school just yet, and that's okay. It's still summer, don't worry. But yeah, the teachers, when we do go back to school in the fall, the teachers that we have will be leaders in our lives that we need to trust and we need to follow. And see, that's another important thing. When we trust our leaders and they give us good reason to trust them by being good and connecting with us, then it's really easy to follow the leaders that God gave us. And it makes God very happy when we obey the leaders that He put in our lives. I think another leader in our lives would be our pastors. So we've got Pastor Andrew, who is our kids and family leader, and he is someone really great. And if we listen to the rules that he puts in place, we will have so much fun. Also, we have Pastor Jeff and Pastor Tamil. And again, these people are so great to follow their advice, follow their leadership, follow their rules, and to watch how they're living so that we can also know how to live our lives. So those are a few ways and a few leaders that I think we should start thinking about. And I'm wondering if you guys can think about some other leaders in your lives, maybe the leaders that we've already talked about, or maybe you guys even have some more leaders that you can think of that I didn't think of. Maybe you have someone else in your life. So think that through, talk it through with your siblings, with your parents, with whoever you're with right now watching this. So the other thing that I wanted to do with you guys is to go about our verse. So I'm going to say our verse, then we're going to do our story, and then we'll come back for a fun game to play at the end, okay? So our verse for today comes from the book of Colossians, and it's Colossians 3:20. So it says, "Children, always obey your parents, for this pleases the Lord." So I want you guys to say that one with me. Are you ready? Children, always listen to your parents, for this pleases the Lord. Very good. And that comes from Colossians 3:20. So make sure you practice that this week. Practice saying it and also practice doing it. Listening to your parents, listening to the leaders in your lives and obeying what they say. So let's watch the video and then we'll come back and we'll play a fun little game.
This is the story about the God who loves us in the Bible. We find truth and purpose to love God and love others. We're searching God's word for things to discover. This book is alive, full of answers and godly advice. This book is alive. See the wonderful stories inside. Every day I'm searching, read through history and poetry. How much Jesus loves me. God's great story lives. There's no other book like this. This book is alive.
Why does Jesus spend time with people who do bad things?
The religious leaders wondered. So Jesus told them a story about God's love. This is how it went. A man had 2 sons. The younger son asked for the money he would get when the father died. Heartbroken, the father gave his younger son half of his property. The son moved to a distant country. He wasted all the money. Then a famine came, and he had to feed pigs. He wished he could eat the pigs' food. My father's servants do better than this, he thought. I'll return home and admit that I have sinned against him and God. Maybe he'll make me one of his servants. The son went home. While he was still far away, his father ran to him and hugged him. I'm not worthy to be your son, he told his father. Bring my son my best robe, the father told his servants. Put a ring on his finger. Roast our fattest calf. My boy was lost, and now he's found. The older son was angry when he heard about the celebration. It's not fair, he complained. I work faithfully and get nothing. He wastes your money and gets a party. All that's mine is yours, the father replied. Your brother was dead. Now he's alive. He was lost. Now he's found. So what can we do but celebrate?
Remember, we are talking about obeying the leaders that God gave us. And if we don't obey, then there are consequences, right? That's what we learned in the parable that we just watched, the story of the young man who disobeyed his father, and there were consequences, right? He had to feed pigs and eat what the pigs were eating, and he had a really bad consequence for his actions. Now, we are going to play a game that's all about obedience and consequences, but don't worry, the consequences aren't too bad. So we're going to play red light, green light, and this might be a game you've played before, but this is a little bit of a twist version. So I have some wonderful, colorful papers here. Red light, green light, get it? Yes, red, green, hoping that the color transposes onto your screens well. I want you guys to stand on one side of the room, facing the screen, facing me, because I'm the caller. I'm the leader in the game, and you guys need to obey the leader in this game, okay? So I'm gonna hold up this green piece of paper and say green light, and that means you need to run, let's say walk fast, not running, because I don't want you running if you're inside. I don't want anybody to get hurt. So walk quickly towards the screen, and if I say yellow light, then you need to slow down and walk in slow motion, okay? And then if I say red light, you have to stop where you are and freeze. And if you don't do any of those things, then you gotta go back to the wall where you started from, because that's the consequence if you don't go quickly, go slowly, or move forward. Now, I also like to play my game of red light, green light with a little twist. So we are going to also add in orange light, which is not really a traffic light color, but that's okay. Orange light means you need to go backwards walking carefully. Again, you should be playing this in an area where you have a little bit of room, a little bit of space. Everybody be careful. So orange light is go backwards. Blue light means dance, because I love to dance. Who doesn't love to dance? Dance your way across the room, coming towards the screen. If you get all the way to the screen, just go back and start again, because this is not about getting to a finish line at all. This is a game about obedience, doing what the colors are telling you. And for our final color, pink light, which means sit down. Wherever you are, just sit. So the pink light is kind of like the red light, because the red light means stop and the pink light means sit down. They both stop you from moving. All the other ones move you forward or backward, or just in a fun way. Slow motion, dancing, you get it. You'll get it. So when I call out these colors, you gotta do what the action is. That's the obedience part. If you don't do it, or you forget what that color meant, then you have to go back to the beginning and start all over again, and that's the consequence in the game. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna start us off with yellow light. So I hope everybody is slow motion moving. Green light, go! Orange light. Orange light means go backwards. I hope you're going backwards. This is hard to do when I can't see you, but that's why we're gonna switch it up after. Ready, blue light. Blue light means dance. Show me your dance moves. Dance moves, red light. Did everybody stop? If you didn't stop, you have to go back to the beginning. Blue light, dancing. Pink light. That should mean you're sitting down on your bottoms. If you did not sit down, you gotta go back and start again. Green light, go, go, go. Yellow light, slow motion. Orange light. Now I'm wondering if you're doing slow motion backwards or just backwards. Either way is totally fine. Blue light, some more dancing. Green light, red light, stop. You guys get the point. So I want you to play this game with your siblings, with your friends, with your family, with your moms and dads. Everybody gets a turn to be the leader, the caller, and everybody gets a turn to be the follower. You don't actually need the colored pieces of paper. That was just a good visual for me. You can do it just by calling out the light color, like I was also calling it out. It's just a fun, exciting way to practice listening and obeying the people who are the leaders in our circumstances. So in this game, listen and obey that leader, and you'll do a good job. If you don't, you have the consequence. It's a fun game. You can play it absolutely anywhere. Sometimes my kids and I play it when we're just waiting around for an appointment, or we're at a loss for what to do and we're hanging out. Just have some fun with it. Enjoy your week. And thank you for hanging out with me a little bit this morning.